Hello, this is Sam Bismuth, activist, computer programmer, and a member of CPI. And today, for my morning message, I want you to think about this. Don't be a liberal or a conservative. Don't be a progressive or a conservative. And in your personal life, you may have certain opinions. You may have certain views. You may have certain experiences. Right? And that's all true. And that is your personal life. Remember, you are a professional. You are a professional revolutionary. You know what that means? Personal and professional life are not one and the same. And the more that you express views that are going along with a liberal, progressive, or a conservative viewpoint, the more you are pigeonholing yourself, right? It's very easy to get distracted, okay? Very, very easy. If you go online and look at politics, so-called politics as they stand now, that's all you're going to see. You're not going to see that much else. You do have people that are more centered on economic issues or anti-war issues, or other things like deep politics, or, they do exist. There are people that know how to focus on particular issues and stick to them. I mean, even people that do that will sometimes stray a little bit. Like, I think in my head, as an example, Jimmy Dore. He keeps his eyes on the prize. The vast majority of his content is not about the culture war bullshit, right? He's not saying, the woke school teachers or something, some kind of, crap that you can hear literally anywhere, right? There's a little bit of that. I think he's playing to his audience a little bit in that way, but at the same time, I think to the extent that he does that, and yes, he does get views from it, he actually undermines the overall integrity of this message. Because there's nothing socially progressive or socially conservative about the anti-imperialist message at all. And I've heard the case that because social progressivism is used as a pretense, as a means of marketing imperialism, like how trans woman Sarah Ashton Cirillo is the spokeswoman to the West for the Ukrainian military, right? Or how human rights are used as a pretense for the war in Afghanistan, women's rights. So yes, there is some truth to the fact that the social progressive, issues, much more so than the conservative issues, are used as a pretense for imperialism. But that does not mean that social progressivism is inherently upholding any kind of imperialism. It's not. If that didn't exist, if there wasn't that, there would be some other reason. I mean, before the era of pinkwashing imperialism, they pretty much were going along with, and this is still around, democracy, liberty, the American ideals, right? These were the ideas that they were trying to impose on them. Does that mean we hate liberty? Right? I mean, maybe we hate what passes for democracy in the West. We hate the so-called democracy of the West, but we don't hate democracy. And we do not hate liberty and freedom, things that American people enjoy. We don't hate those things, right? And when it comes down to it, at the core of all of this is not social progressivism. There's not people in the military saying, there's not enough gay rights in Iran, therefore we need to invade. Like, there's not people in the Pentagon who legitimately think this way. I mean, maybe there are, but the primary interest, and this is what we have to remember, the primary interest is to serve the unipolar Western order. That is the primary purpose of imperialism. It is to maintain the economic and military supremacy of the West, led by the US. It is to maintain our current system, our current way of dominating the world, bullying the world, maintaining cheap access to resources, maintaining cheap access to labor, so that we can continue to have our system. That is the primary thing. That is the primary purpose of imperialism. It is not to enforce a liberal progressive social agenda on the world, and it certainly isn't, this would be completely out of the ballpark, to enforce a conservative agenda on the world, which, that's not even a thing that people think about. It is quite possible to me that the neocons in the past have argued in favor of Christian values or something along those lines, but I don't think that's like the primary thing, we're worried about. But at the same time, to the extent that you profess social conservatism while being an anti-imperialist, what you're doing is pigeonholing yourself, right? And people are going to pigeonhole you as a paleo-conservative at that point. They're not going to think this person wants to create a revolutionary new system that is in line with cooperation with the rest of the world. They're going to think this is a person who wants to isolate America, right? This is a person who thinks, who's delusional enough to think that America can be economically isolated from the rest of the world, right? That's paleo-conservatism, and that's the box that they're going to put you in. That's the only way that they understand a conservative anti-imperialist. And further than that, when you look at the political divide in America and the way people want to fight each other, the way people want to take each other out of power, both in the establishment and among the base of people, what you're essentially doing is saying, I am a Republican or I am a Democrat. You're not differentiating yourself, right? You are not differentiating yourself. And the tactic used by PSL of saying, well, they claim to be the progressives, but we're the real progressives, it doesn't differentiate yourself. You're just being a more extreme version of the same thing. Same thing with conservatism. Oh, these elites, they're all, in secret doing drugs and having orgies and all this stuff. Probably true, right? They're not really conservative. Probably true. But, oh, well, I'm the real conservative. I really want to make things conservative. You're not differentiating yourself. That is a political fail. So, yes, you can have your views in your personal life, but from a strategic, practical, anti-imperialist viewpoint, you need to keep it moderate. Find the center path, and most of all, focus on anti-imperialism above everything else. This has been Sam Bismuth. Thanks for listening. See you next time.